Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the original Queen AHMADIYYAH'S show. I'm your host, Queen AHMADIYYAH'S, and this is your daily vitamin. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click the notification bell and click the word all so that you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. All right, don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Queen AHMADIYYAH'S. You can also follow the Queen AHMADIYYAH'S fan page, and you can follow me on Twitter at DGoddess27. All right. I hope you all can't hear my fan running in the background because it's sitting right there. Okay. All right. So hello, Lee, Ayon, Mommy, Pearly, Pierre, Melanated Brown is in the house. All right. I see you, beloved. Monica, Just Biz, Silent D, Cassandra. Okay. Shout out to my moderators. Okay. Belinda, Terry Hinton, Vince I Am from the UK, Asha, True Justice, Gregory Rhythm and Blues Health and Fitness. All right. Alvin, Samantha, Anne Marie, Mr. Mystical Black Realms is in the house. Claudette, Maestro Dan, Alvin, Lee. Okay. So shout out to everyone in the chat and everyone tuned into the Queen. Let's get into it because we have a lot of things to talk about. All right. I see you, Miss J, King 69. Okay. So let's talk about the first topic at hand here. Here we go with the nefariousness, people. Now, I want you all to see this. I saw this a couple of days ago. This thug killed a 17-year-old because she was pregnant by him, and he had another girlfriend, had a whole nother girlfriend, honey, and didn't want the girlfriend to find out that he was lying and cheating, okay? So he thought it was a good idea to murder this young girl. Okay, just to hide the fact that he got her pregnant, but now you're caught. You're going to prison. And your girlfriend, or your ex-girlfriend, I'm sure, because I'm quite sure she dumped him. But now she knows what you did anyway. How stupid is that? I mean, I don't know how some people arrive with their logic. Okay, so let's get into it. Hey, Terry Hinton, Curly Girl. Okay, so, all right, Desmond, I see you.
The name Vegamore comes from vegan and amor. It's love. Love for life, love for yourself, the environment.
To 5. It was 10 years ago when a 17-year-old pregnant girl left her home in St. Pete and never returned. Now, today, Jacoby Flowers, the father of that unborn child, was sentenced to 40 years in prison for her murder, but not before hearing dramatic testimony from Morgan Martin's loved ones. Fox 13's Aaron Mesmer takes us inside the Pinellas County courtroom.
As part of Jacoby Flowers' plea agreement, he could have spent 25 years in prison if investigators were able to find Morgan Martin's body before his sentencing. That never happened. Morgan's remains are still missing, and as a result, Flowers was sentenced to 40 years in prison.
She was my child. She was my daughter, and she was so good-hearted.
Leah Martin's emotions ranged from uncontrolled grief to rage.
And I hope that every day that you sleep, you have to see her. Do you understand me? I hope you see her face.
Those emotions have been building for about a decade. And as she stared in court at Jacoby Flowers, the man being sentenced for murdering her daughter, Morgan Martin, who was 17 years old and pregnant with their child, Morgan's mother couldn't hold back.
You didn't only kill my child, you killed your own. You're worthless.
As Flowers entered the courtroom Thursday, he appeared to be smiling. Before the judge finalized his 40-year sentence, Flowers spoke from the stand.
There's not a day that goes by in the last 10 years that I haven't felt the deepest level of regret and remorse for my actions.
Earlier this week, Flowers led investigators to the location in Alabama where he says he buried Morgan's body in 2012. Authorities searched for several days but didn't find her. St. Pete police say they won't stop looking.
Our ultimate goal is to locate Morgan Martin and to bring her home for her family. And as far as I see it, this case is not closed until that happens.
Investigators say text messages between Morgan and Flowers revealed a troubled relationship. According to detectives, he begged her not to have the baby because he was in another relationship. And then one night in 2012, Morgan left her home and never returned. Her mother felt some relief, finally getting to confront her daughter's killer.
It was good for him to know that I don't forgive him. He shows no grief. He doesn't care. 40 years wasn't enough. But then again, a million years wouldn't have been enough for me.
And Flowers has been behind bars for the last 6 years or so, so factoring in time served, he'll spend the next 34 years in prison. In Pinellas County, Aaron Mesmer, Fox 13 News.
Now, that was so nefarious. He killed that beautiful young lady just because he wanted to hide his secret. And then I want you to pay attention to how he waltzed into the courtroom, throwing kisses at the defense and smirking. And then he got up there on the stand and talked about remorse. Honey, if you had remorse, you wouldn't have done all that when you entered the courtroom. I mean, he walked in there all bold, you know what I'm saying? And here's the thing, too. At the end of the day, if he really had an ounce of remorse, it would have come from the heart. He wouldn't have had to be reading it off of a paper that he clearly wrote it down, prior to coming to court. You don't have to write down your feelings when your feelings are true and genuine. That's what you don't have to do. So he is low down, honey. And she's right. 40 years isn't enough. Okay? Yefu says, my daughter wants a child so bad, and I keep telling her about guys like this. Yes, honey, there are some of them, and many are very deceptive and cunning, right? So sad. It's so very sad. Okay, so now let's talk about this cop that got shot, honey, on the side of the highway. And then some good Samaritans came along and helped him. And, honey, they got that suspect under control, honey. They held a knife at him. Honey, they had a knife at him like, you ain't going nowhere, okay? So I'm going to share my screen so you all can see this. Like Silent D says, say what now? Yes, honey. Absolutely. All right. Everyone get the likes up. Please like and share. Subscribe to the channel if you enjoy the commentary. Thank you in advance.
Let's see if they have a tourniquet in that car, a proper tourniquet. I've got one in my bag. In your bag? I think. In the back. In the back? In the backpack. That or the spot.
Get that.
No. Right here. No. And put it up. He's coming. Oh, my leg!
Daddy, he's up the yaya.
Now, Vince I Am said that there was a lot of blood. Yes, it was. And here's the thing. The cop was clearly bleeding out because, there's a main artery in your thigh. Okay, and that's where he was shot at. So he literally could have bled to death. Thank God those people came and helped him, honey. He should be thanking his lucky stars for good Samaritans. But I want you all to pay attention to something. Now, you see all of the people who helped him, they looked like him. Now, if you recall the video I showed you all a couple of weeks ago where the black security guard got shot down and by another black person, remember? And I think they stole his wallet or they took something out of his pocket and then walked away. And there was a homeless person sitting on the corner, didn't bother to run and try to go get help, just walked past the man. In fact, stepped over him And then 2 more black people came out and they checked his pockets to see what they could steal too, honey, and then kept it moving. I'm talking about off-code Negroes. Please pay attention. All right? Please pay attention. Lee Hart said on code. Absolutely. And they're supposed to be on code. Too bad we aren't, because that's exactly what we should be. Now, I also want you to pay attention to something too. On the prior story that I talked about with the thug that killed the 17-year-old girl because she was pregnant, you notice her mother said on the stand that she said, I'm glad that he knows that, or she said after she got off the stand, she said, I'm glad he knows that I do not forgive him. And she's absolutely right, honey. You don't have to forgive everybody. That's what you don't have to do. I mean, if you want to go by biblical, stories and all of that, I'm sure you remember several times in the Bible where people absolutely didn't forgive, okay? That's why Sodom and Gomorrah was destroyed. All right, did the Most High forgive them? Apparently not, if they all got destroyed. I'm just saying. Did he forgive Pharaoh for enslaving the Israelites? Absolutely not. He sent the plagues upon them. So pay attention, honey. Some people want to paint narratives and make you feel like like you absolutely have to forgive someone for being nefarious and doing something to you, like taking your loved one out of this world. You understand what I'm saying? You don't have to forgive them if you don't want to. Forgiveness is something you choose to do, not something that you should be forced to do or feel obligated to do. And especially and specifically when the person who did the dirty deed doesn't show an ounce of remorse and in fact doesn't even beg for your forgiveness, okay? You don't have to give it to them. So please stop thinking that. I know some of y'all are brainwashed and you think that you have to absolutely do so. But at the end of the day, do you really? Do you really? I don't think so. All right. Phyllis said we need to stop this forgiveness mindset. It weakens us. Yes, it absolutely does, honey. You don't have to forgive people. If you forgave everybody, or even if the Most High forgave everybody, why does the Bible say, vengeance is mine, saith the Lord? You get vengeance when you don't forgive. Make it all make sense. I'm just telling, honey. I'm just telling y'all the truth and the facts. All right. And so with that all being said, let's move on and move forward because we have lots of stories, honey. Now here's another one. And this is really so sad. This is really so sad, honey. This woman shot her 9-year-old and her 13-year-old in the head as they both slept. What kind of wicked demon does that? Shot both of these children and then tried to shoot her next door neighbor in the head too. So she's been charged with 2 counts of capital murder and 1 count of attempted murder. And now she wants to act like she's crazy. Maybe she is. I don't know. She looks it. So I'm going to share my screen so you all can see this. All right. Geraldine said, you don't have to forgive Satan and his little helpers. Absolutely, beloved. You got that right.
Custody, accused of shooting her 2 young sons in their beds and then trying to shoot a neighbor. I'm Shayna Humphreys.
I'm Jason Martinez, and authorities say the young boys are not expected to survive. Kelly Rule joins us live in Newtown, Bucks County with these latest heartbreaking developments. Kelly?
Absolutely heartbreaking, Shayna and Jason. There is a growing memorial here tonight in Newtown Middle School. I'll step out of the way so you can see it. The flag at half staff, a pile of flowers, candles, and baseball bats for these 2 boys, 9 and 13 years old. And the district attorney says they are being kept alive so they can donate their organs. Meanwhile, their mother, 38-year-old Trin Nguyen, was arraigned via video conference this afternoon. A judge denied her bail. Investigators worked into the evening Monday in this upscale Upper Makefield Township neighborhood surrounding a duplex on Timber Ridge Road, where police say 38-year-old Trin Nguyen shot her 2 sons in their beds and tried to shoot a 22-year-old duplex neighbor, the son of her landlord, according to court records.
There are neighborhood kids and we see them, playing around in their fields and, but we could never expect something like that would take place in this kind of a neighborhood.
The Bucks County District Attorney says that 22-year-old neighbor called police just after 7 a.m. He said Nguyen tried to hand him a box of photos to give to her ex-husband, whom he works with, and then tried to shoot him.
He saw Nguyen pointing a black revolver to his face. Nguyen then pulled the trigger 2 times, but by the grace of God, the gun did not fire.
The 22-year-old wrapped her in a bear hug and disarmed her, but she fled in a minivan. A few hours later, she was arrested in a church parking lot under the influence of drugs, the DA said, with additional ammo in her car. They believe it might have been a botched double murder-suicide. The two boys, 9 and 13, attend school in the Council Rock School District, according to the superintendent, who said in a letter sent home they will monitor and provide students and staff the support they need while at school.
I have 2 kids. It can't hit any closer to home than this. And I've been saying my prayers ever since I got this call this morning. I'll continue to do so.
The motive still under investigation tonight. Now, The Crossing, the church where Nguyen was arrested today, posted on Facebook tonight saying this family was not part of their church family, but they are praying for them in the community, and there will be a public prayer for comfort tomorrow night. Jana?
Sure, we'll be following it. Thank you, Kelly.
Now that's just really sad. And then she went and took drugs to try to kill herself. Please sit down, okay? Maylene, you are going exactly where you belong, and that's to prison. And the sad thing is the poor children don't have a chance of living. They're merely being kept on life support so they can donate their little organs. That is so sad. I mean, children do not deserve this, and we are hearing more and more about these nefarious parents murdering their children. What is going on? Are people on the venom and losing it? Because something just doesn't seem right about this. I mean, I can not even remember how many stories I've done about these things in the past month. It's been at least 5 or 6. Are y'all paying attention to the counts? All so crazy, honey. It is all so crazy. Then she want to go take some drugs. And let me tell y'all something. Her neighbor, he must be crazy because he's a man and he stood there and let her pull that trigger twice, honey. She wouldn't have got to pull it once with me because I'd have grabbed the hand that she had that gun in, honey, and then gave her a punch to the throat with the other hand, honey. Please sit down, honey. You're going to sit right here and wait for the police. All right, that's what you're going to do. Talk about you going to shoot me? Please. Honey, it's by the grace of God that the gun didn't fire. All right? The songwriter said, did he just say by the grace of God? Odd timing, as if children needed to die for him to recognize grace. Okay, he did say that. CERN turned on the machine. Vince I.M. said CERN turned on the machine allegedly. Okay, something is really going on, honey. People are just losing their minds and doing the most nefarious things. Do you all think that maybe the zombie apocalypse has in fact started and no one has warned us? Because it's getting real crazy out here in these streets. Okay, Trisha said, how stupid was he? That's what I'd like to know, honey. You're going to stand there and not let her pull the trigger once, but twice. Now, here's the thing. Even if he wasn't quick enough to get the gun from her before she put it the first time, once he saw that it didn't fire, you're still going to stand there and wait for her to pull it again? Honey, I would have hit her right across the south part of her nose, honey. Oh, honey, she'd have been laid out cold, and that's just facts, honey, okay? She'd have been seeing birds and stars and everything else, honey, till the police came to scrape her up. You know what? QW Aville said they turned on the stupid 19 switch. I don't know what they did, honey, but something nefarious is clearly afoot. That's all I'm going to say. All right? So now let's talk about this story. Now, you all may have heard about the young girl, 16 years old, beautiful young lady, Lauren Juma. Now, she was found dead, and her mother's boyfriend did it. Her mother's 60-year-old boyfriend, Van Brisbane, did it. I mean, it's just so sad. Now, the young girl called her mom at work and told her that she had awakened to the boyfriend standing in her room in the dark, holding a gun. Now, can you imagine? Now, this man has known this child for a good period of time. You know, they say that they had a good relationship, but the police say that he was came out of the house, pulling up his pants, zipping up his pants. And when they found the young girl dead inside the house, her pants were pulled down. So we already know what that implies. And then when he walked outside, he so cavalierly and nonchalantly said, do what you got to do. That's what he told the police. Do what you got to do. Now, the police say they heard 2 gunshots. And he walked outside. I imagine he must have left the gun in the house or whatever. I'm surprised he didn't get shot coming outside after they heard gunshots and knew that at some point he was armed. Amazing how these people who are actually devils don't get shot, but the innocent people do at traffic stops, no less. Please pay attention. All right? Please pay attention. So anyway, I'm going to show this footage of this. Hold on just a moment. Stepmother. Okay, here we go. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Now, so a 60-year-old humble man is facing a murder charge, accused of shooting and killing his girlfriend's 16-year-old daughter, Lauren Juma. So a once quiet neighborhood still is in shock by the shooting and killing of Lauren. The 16-year-old was a student at Nimitz High School. The teen's life was violently taken away by someone that she and the family trusted. Law enforcement have the suspect, 60-year-old Van Brisbane, who is Lauren's mother's boyfriend. They have him in custody, and he's been charged with murder. We learned Friday that he waived his right to appear in probable cause court and is being held on a $1 million bond. Well, that bond is now $2 million because the prosecution asked to have it raised. Okay, so the judge raised the bond from $1 million to $2 million. So I'm going to share my screen. Everyone, please like and share, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Thank you in advance.
First tonight at 9, a 60-year-old man in Humble is facing a murder charge, accused of shooting and killing his girlfriend's 16-year-old daughter.
We spoke with the father and stepmom tonight as they are now forced to say goodbye. Our Tiffany Justice joining us live with this story. Tiffany.
Right, the family still trying to wrap their heads around the fact that she was killed and how she was so brutally taken away.
My daughter was a very wonderful, caring person. You know, she was very friendly, nice, and she had her friends. Everybody loved her.
A teen's life violently taken away by someone family says she trusted. This once quiet, humble neighborhood still in shock by a shooting that took the life of 16-year-old Lauren Uma, a student at Nimitz High School.
He does not need to be let go or set free because that a monster like that would kill an innocent little girl that he was in her life, that she trusted for years.
This man is now in custody facing a murder charge, the victim's mother's boyfriend. The suspect, 60-year-old Van Brisbane, came out of the house, according to police, telling them to do what they had to do. Police say the teen was on the phone with her mother just before the shooting. We're told Lauren's older sister was the one who called 911 this morning, telling them that Lauren was being held at gunpoint by her mother's boyfriend. The mother out of town for work, arriving back home to her daughter dead.
Death is too good for him. When he walked outside and said, do what you gotta do, he was looking for death. It is too good for him. He needs to rot in prison.
Police say as deputies were arriving to the home, they heard the gunshots as they were approaching the front door. Neighbors speaking with Fox 26 saying they're rattled by the death, saying it's going to forever change the neighborhood.
This was a good neighborhood, quiet. We don't have crime. So now when you look us up, the only crime you have is a murder, and it's a child.
She was like, Dad, I'm going to give me a job, and that's what she did. And I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to get my own car. That's what she recently just did.
Now, family says after graduating, she was planning to join the Air Force. Police say they're still trying to determine a motive and that Brisbane is not being cooperative. Reporting live, Tiffany Justice, Fox.
Now, let me tell you all something. Here's the thing. People say, be careful who you bring around your children. Absolutely. But this man had been knowing this child for years. He had been knowing her for years, and they had a good relationship. Did something in him just snap? Is he demon possessed? Or has he always just been wicked and sitting back lurking? It's real crazy. I mean, just imagine, because this sounds kind of demonic just to me. She wakes up and he's standing in her room in the dark, holding a gun. What is that all about? That's real crazy. Louise said he was always wicked. And Mr. Mystical Black Brown said that's the crazy part. Yes. Let me tell y'all something, honey. I absolutely believe in demonic possession. I absolutely do. QW Avil said that switched and turned on, shaking my head. You know what? Something is clearly afoot, honey. It could have been. Songwriter says, I mean, it's still a quiet town. Even more quiet, if anything. They act as if one black murder equals a gang. Right. Okay, Vince I.L. said they need to state if these criminals took stupid 19 shots and Vince, please do not get me started. Byron B said I do as well. Okay, absolutely. Now I'm gonna show y'all some footage later on. I'm gonna show y'all some footage, honey, that makes me think, honey, it's some real strange stuff going on. I'm just telling you. I'm gonna show y'all that before I close out. So anyway, let's hear what his niece had to say, because the devil went to court and his family was there, right? But his niece had on a shirt that says, "Here for Lauren." So she's there for the girl's family who was the victim, as opposed to being there for her uncle. And we all know most people would not do that. So everyone like and share. Relative of man accused of murdering stepdaughter said that he loved Lauren and Lauren loved him. I'm going to share my screen. Likes up, everyone please like and share.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Andy Sirota.
And I'm Lisa Hernandez. Van Brisbane is charged with murder and the death of Lauren Juma, a junior who attended Nimitz High School in Aldine ISD. Our Kathy Hernandez joining us live from downtown for what was decided in the courtroom this morning. Kathy?
Good morning. All of this went down just a few minutes ago, so we are working to get you all of this information. But what I can tell you right now, a judge increased his bond to $2 million. This while investigators are waiting results to determine if Van Brisbane sexually assaulted the victim before he killed her. 60-year-old Brisbane is charged with murder and the death of his stepdaughter, 16-year-old Laura Juma. He stood in court this morning wearing an orange jumpsuit. According to prosecutors, Lauren called her mom on FaceTime Friday morning, saying he was standing inside her room in the dark and wanted her to tell him to get out, which she did. They say Lauren then screamed, "Mom, he has a gun," and then the call ended. When deputies arrived, they heard 2 gunshots. They took Brisbane into custody and found Lauren dead inside the home. Her father told us she wanted to join the military after high school and one day become a police officer. We talked to Brisbane's niece, who is here inside the courtroom and very emotional.
I don't know. I can't say that I support my uncle and what he did, because I don't. I love my uncle. He is my uncle. I'm going to always be here for him. But at the same time, you have to understand that people have to be accountable for their actions. If we don't hold people accountable for the things that they do wrong, then people will continue to do wrong. You can't determine what's right or what's wrong based off of a blood relation. I love my uncle to death. I swear I do. But I will never be able to understand how he did something like this to Lauren. He loved Lauren and Lauren loved the life out of him. How he could take her life from her, I can never understand it.
Very emotional moments there here at the courthouse. Again, a judge increased his bond to $2 million. This while they are awaiting results to see if he sexually assaulted the victim before he killed her. They say those charges could be upgraded to capital murder. Reporting live in downtown Houston, Kathy Hernandez, KPRC 2 News.
That is just so sad. Desmond, I'm talking to my moderator, Desmond. Delete your comment, please. I didn't ask you to do that. Thank you. Go ahead and delete it. Okay, so here's the thing. The fact that his niece was there in support of the victim and the victim's family, that says a lot because, like I said, most people absolutely would not do that, okay? Most people don't want to hold their own family members accountable. They don't want to hold them accountable. They don't want to make them, call them out for their BS. They want to act like, oh, he was always so nice. He was always so kind. I would never expect him to do this. Please stop, okay? That's why a lot of times child molestations and all types of nefarious things that go on in our community go unchecked because people don't want to hold other people in their family accountable. They, in fact, will cover for them. It's time to start calling them out. Okay, it is time to start calling them out and stop being in denial. All right, call it for what it is, honey. If you have a whole demon, you know what I'm saying? His niece probably knew he was a creep, says Rayla. Yes, she may have known. And then you know what? He may have done this to her when she was growing up, or maybe she knew about something else he did. Who knows? But at the end of the day, she said she loves him and she always will. But also he has to be held accountable. And she's absolutely right. You have to start holding people accountable, whether they're family members or not. If you know someone's out here acting as a whole demon, honey, that's what you need to do. Okay? That's what you need to do. And so with that all being said, I feel sorry for the family. And I know the mother is probably right now blaming herself that she brought this man around her child. But sometimes, how do you know? You know what I'm saying? Sometimes, how do you know? Okay? Desmond, I'm still waiting on you to delete that comment. All right. I didn't ask you to put that in the chat, so please delete it. Thank you. All right. So anyway, with that all being said, let me move on. Now let's talk about Stephen A. Smith. Because Stephon Marbury clearly called him out for all of his bullshit. Okay? Hey, Yusuf from Ratchet Today. I love you, right, Black, beloved. Okay, so now listen to this. Listen to this, honey. So, like I said, it's about time that Stephen H. Smith got called out for his nefariousness, right? So let's get into it. Former NBA player calls out Stephen A. Smith for being an Uncle Tom. Okay, so former NBA player Stephon Marbury is calling out Stephen A. Smith after the ESPN pundit made critical remarks about Brooklyn Nets star Kyrie Irving. Yes, he has still been talking all this mess about Kyrie Irving, but let's pay attention to how when other people have done things right, other athletes, not of our race, shall I say, he hadn't said a thing. And in fact, he's actually caped for some of them, okay? But he wants to always go in on these black athletes, and specifically Kyrie Irving, honey. He's been trying to give that man the blues from day one. So he finally gets called out. Marbury went to Twitter to respond to Smith, who bashed Irving, saying, "We are witnessing one of the most delusional athletes in American history." That's what he said. And then Marbury posts, "We are witnessing one of the biggest Uncle Toms on the planet in at Stephen A. Smith." That's what he wrote in a reply to Stephen Smith's post. Now, Smith later spoke up on ESPN to respond to Marbury's statement. "I'm not going to insult Stephon Marbury. I will say Stephon Marbury has had a problem with me since 2009 because we thought he was a bit bizarre when he was eating Vaseline, literally on video like it was a bunch of cheeseburgers." Smith and some other media figures have been critical of Irving, who missed most of the NBA season because he didn't want to follow New York's Venom mandate. Now, critics also blame the NBA star for being a distraction to the Nets, who lost in the first round playoff series against the Boston Celtics last week. Well, here's the thing, honey. They can't blame Kyrie because they lost. And at the end of the day, rather than giving another black man props for standing his ground, right, for staying 10 toes down on his beliefs, he's criticizing him because he doesn't bow, bend, or break to nefarious mandates. Please sit down, Stephen A. Smith, all right? Wasn't he in the hospital with stupid 19 after taking the venom? Please miss us all with it. But let me continue. And so, goes on to say, Irvin has been speaking out against the media's attitude towards black athletes. I send shots at the puppet masters, not the puppets. That's what he said. He tweeted this. All puppets do is run around society trying to gain popularity and state opinions. What a life. My name is worth billions to these media corporations. My brothers and sisters who deal with this know exactly what I mean. That's what Kyrie said, and he's absolutely right. Now, according to Outkick, Marbury continued to speak out against Smith when he interviewed with the Bally Sports. He said, I'm starting to think Stephen A. Smith thinks he's a star for speaking the English language loud and obnoxiously on TV. That's what he said. I truly believe he's upset that he couldn't play ball in front of 19,000 people every night. So he reverted towards targeting and bashing people who look like him, who have true intentions on earth to be real and authentic towards helping people. He told him absolutely right, okay? That's exactly what he told him. He told him absolutely right. Somebody had to do it. I'm glad he got called out. And then he's talking about he's not going to insult him. Honey, you can't insult nobody with that hairline. If he wants to start spewing insults, all anybody needs to do is talk about his hairline. I mean, it's way back, right? I'm just saying. Why is your hairline running away from your forehead? Please make it all make sense, Stephen A. Smith. All right? I mean, in fact, they should have given him the role in Django instead of Samuel L. Jackson. That's all I'm saying. Because that's the life he lives every day. Y'all remember that time the fool said he wakes up every day and tries to remember or tries to think of ways that he can make more money for his boss. Who thinks that way? Honey, I wake up every day and try to figure out ways I can make more money for myself. What? He actually said that. Is he stuck on the plantation or what? Lee. I probably said way, way back, Queen. Okay? Thank you, beloved. So, honey, I just cannot with that fool. But hold on. I want to show you all this video that I posted to my Instagram because it really just goes to reiterate what I showed you all last night, what I talked about last night with the human trafficking and the girls coming up missing, the black girls coming up missing and all that, the epidemic of it. Yeah, I want you all to see this video, honey. Oh, so crazy, including nefarious. Likes up, please like and share. Whole lot of BS going on. Okay, here we go. Now check this out. This also gives me some more thoughts about another video I did. Do you all remember a couple of days ago, Queen, I can't with you. You are too funny. Thank you, beloved. Thank you, Vince. But listen to this. Do you all remember the story that I did the other day? I think it was yesterday. In fact, yesterday morning, about the girl who was at Disney World, the 17-year-old girl, right? And her mom, I think, found that she was being tracked. Somebody had put an Apple AirTag in her bag or somewhere on her. And so she was being tracked for 4 hours by someone they don't know at Disney. Y'all remember that story? I think that had something to do with human trafficking. I think people out here going to whole amusement parks looking for people to target. Pay attention to your children, honey, when you take them anywhere out in public. And especially if they're going somewhere by themselves, honey, you probably need to have them chaperoned and not just letting them go by themselves at certain ages. Terry said, I remember that. Okay, because I just spoke about this, right? So I want you all to pay attention because I think this has something to do with that. Let me get this up. Likes up. Everyone, please like and share. I should have as many likes as I have people watching this video. All right? Make it make sense, people.
This dude is over here taking pictures of little girls. And either y'all gonna take him or y'all gonna take me.
Why do you got my daughter in your phone? Why do you got my daughter in your phone?
I'm keeping the
Why the fuck do you got my daughter in your phone? Delete it right now first.
You taking pictures of
Shit out
little girls.
your fucking God, you fucking pervert.
Not even
Get my daughter out your goddamn video game, bitch. Delete my daughter's picture out your goddamn phone. Delete my daughter's picture out your goddamn phone. Delete her picture out your phone. You are a pervert. Go to your
Now that was scary. What type of weirdo is walking around an amusement park taking pictures of little girls? At an amusement park. Now I want y'all to pay attention. He was at an amusement park taking a picture of a young girl, a little girl. And then just the other day, the 17-year-old girl had someone attach an Apple AirTag to her belongings to track her. All I'm saying is, honey, y'all better be watching your kids, because here's the thing. Perverts and pedos, they go to places where they know children are going to be, where it's going to be densely populated, and the parents may not be watching them at all times. Okay? This is what they do. Another thing is, I told you all before, these type of people also usually tend to get jobs and careers that put them in close proximity to people's children. Like, a lot of them will become camp counselors, right? Work at daycares and schools, those type of things. Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, you name it. These are the things they do. All right. So with that all being said, honey, this could be a whole epidemic of people just like him wandering around amusement parks doing these things. Because I don't think it's a coincidence that, like I said, just a couple of days ago, somebody was tracking that 17-year-old girl at Disney World. Is this something that they've come to now or something they've been doing? Who knows? But you better be careful with your kids, because these people are out here doing dirt, honey. All right? That's exactly what they're doing. This is all so crazy. And I'm glad that she saw him, because he could have just gotten away with it. What was he doing? Taking pictures of her daughter. Freak. Just cold busted. But hold on. Let me see if I can find that other video. Hold on. Please tell me I shared it. Yes, I want you all to see this. And see, I want you to pay attention. Because like I told you, that guy, Van Brisbane, some people harbor demonic, low vibrational, negative energy. And I've always told you all, especially those of you that follow my spiritual channel, I have always told you all that energy is contagious. All right? And now I'm about to show you just how contagious it actually is. Likes up, please. Like and share. Okay, I'm going to share my screen again.
Peace and power, family. Take a look at this. Still don't think it's real? Keep living, family. You're going to find out. Stay protected. Protect your energy. Ashe.
So did y'all see that? Did y'all see that? At the end of the day, now that was scary. That entity, that malevolent spirit left one person and went into someone else. Transference of energy. Okay? That's all I'm saying. Yes, SMCM says just like the movies. Exactly. This stuff is for real. This stuff is absolutely real. Okay? And that's why, let me tell y'all something. A friend of mine told me years ago, she was in church. Rella D said, play it again. Honey, you're going to have to rewind it, beloved. And you can also find it on my Instagram channel where I posted it, okay? Queen AHMADIYYAH'S on Instagram. But listen, a friend of mine told me years ago that she was sitting in church one Sunday and a family came forward and they said that they had a family member who was possessed by demons, okay? And they wanted the pastor to pray over him to get the demons out. So when the person came forward, before the pastor started trying to exorcise or call out the demon or cast it out or whatever, the pastor said, anyone in here, in this church right now, in the building, anyone who is not right with God, anyone who is not high vibrational, you need to leave. Because when he said, when I cast this demon out, it's going towards the next soul, okay? The next person who's low vibrational. And guess what? My friend said so many people got up out of that church. That's how you can tell who's real and who's fake. You know how a lot of people sit up in church and act as if they're just so holier than thou and all this, that, and the third, and they clearly be faking, honey. Be doing all sorts of things, right, outside of church. Well, a bunch of them just got up and left because they already knew their souls weren't right with God, honey. And the fact that a demon was about to be cast out scared the shite out of them, honey. Sure did. Honey, I don't fear demons. I can cast them out. I don't fear them. We have power and dominion over these things, right? But, however, if you're low vibrational like them, well, clearly you won't, all right? Clearly you won't. Metal Simplica said, bring it. Exactly. Okay? GL said, what? People left? Yes, they left, honey. Almost the whole congregation left. My friend didn't leave. She saw the whole thing. She, in fact, said that when the pastor started praying over the man and holding his hand over the guy's head and speaking in Hebrew, the guy fell to the floor and started slithering like a whole snake. All right? Everall said, Queen, you killed me, LOL. So that's crazy, right? These things are real, honey. I mean, for those of you all that believe in the Bible and all of that, I don't know why y'all don't believe in demons because the Bible clearly speaks of them, okay? Please. Remember when Jesus came upon the man who was possessed by demons and asked what was his name, the man said, I am Legion, for we are many, okay? He wasn't lying because demons always come with others with them. There's never just one demon. There's usually a whole legion of them, all right? So pay attention, honey. Okay, Miss Evie said one lady was foaming at the mouth. Yes, that's the thing too. Now, my uncle, who's the pastor in Port St. Lucie, Florida, he casts demons out too, honey. And my son was witness to it. My son went to stay with him one summer when he was a teenager. And he said that he was casting out a demon and the woman fell to the ground and she started, vomiting and all of that and just, having convulsions and all that. And then when she got up, she was acting like her normal self. And here's the thing. You can see it in the person's eyes. At least I know I can, honey. You can see it because a person will have dark eyes that look like they have no soul, no life, no empathy or anything behind them. Just like a stoic, cold-hearted look. Okay, like looking into the eyes of a killer. And if you look at serial killers like Ted Bundy, John Wayne Gacy, Samuel Little, I could go on and on. Just look at pictures of them. Scott Peterson, right? Look at them. Look into their eyes. Christopher Watts, who killed his pregnant wife and 2 daughters. Look into their eyes and tell me you don't see evil. Those are demons, all right? Low vibrational entities dwelling within them. But here's the thing. These demonic beings, they have to have a reason. You almost have to give them permission to enter you. You have to be engaging in such nefariousness that they feel comfortable oppressing and infesting you, all right, and then possessing you. Because there's 3 stages to demonic possession. There's oppression, infestation, and then The final one is the possession, honey. Y'all know, those of you who follow me on the Paranormal Channel, y'all know all about that. And so with that all being said, Francine says, understand our melanated gifts. Hold on, beloved. Understand our melanated gifts and nothing can touch you. Nothing can touch you if you're doing the right thing and staying high vibrational and operating in your higher self, which is your God-like self, not your lower self, which is the devil within you. Okay? So I'm just saying. So with that all being said, right, Greta said the eyes don't lie. Absolutely, beloved. And so anyway, my work here is done, family. With that all being said, I wish you all love, peace, and prosperity. Enjoy the rest of this day. Do something productive and constructive, never destructive. Stay high vibrational. Remember, each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. With that all being said, I'm going to conclude the broadcast, and I hope to see you all in the next chat. Until next time, family. Peace.
In order for you and me to devise some kind of method or strategy to offset some of the events or a repetition of the events that have taken place here in Los Angeles recently, we have to go to the root. We have to go to the cause. Dealing with the condition itself is not enough.
Dear Mr. Massa, I'm just trying to mind my own business. What's the matter? It's just another day, another black king captured. I'm about to lose my brain, stuck inside this ghetto rapture. I got a lot of smoke. If you want it, you can have it. They want a hat trick, but this is black girl magic. Ain't talking about the kind that'll make you disappear, but I'm talking about the power of the melanin within. Ain't looking for trouble, but I'ma say this one time. I put 2 dukes up if you try to touch mine. We still want justice for Samir and Trayvon. You say you don't see color, but racism ain't blind. They targeting little kids whose skin look just like mine. So I'm paranoid, it's a war zone outside. And I'm a black queen, so if you ask me to step out of my car, you gon' have to snatch me. Cause I ain't going no damn well. Had to spend my whole life living unfair. Ancestors got my back and they right here. You can never understand, it's a nightmare. Living in my black shoes by the black rules. You can keep your handshake, I don't dap coons. The white man to go nuts if he cash you. But you all on his side like a damn fool. Make it make sense.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
We are exploited. We are downtrodden.
Make it make
We are
sense.
denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyya.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyya.
oppression and exploitation
Queen.
away from us or aside from us is come together
Queen.
against the common enemy. Who taught you to hate the texture of your
Ahmadiyya.
hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin?
Ahmadiyya. Parents, pay attention to the books, the school system, given to your little children. Lies mixed with wisdom. His skin too bright, so he was blind to the prison. My skin just right, so I collide with division. You trying to pray to God, but we tired of religion. No savior saving, we got to save our savings. We used to pay miss, how we gon' make the slave rich? But who's to blame, and tell me why you complaining? We need a team effort just to rule the nation. Like a bad relationship, missing communication. We missing moderation. They're trying to get a poison to my population. No reparations. I'm getting tired of Satan.
We are oppressed.
Queen. I'm getting tired of waiting.
We are downtrodden.
Queen.
We are denied not only civil rights, but